Alright, so welcome back to another episode of my multiple episode series where I show you how I prepped for my first half marathon under 1 hour and 30 minutes. Today's a Wednesday. Wednesdays are always track workouts. I'm going to, or I already do, rotate between track workouts and tempo runs every other week. For today's track workout, we're going to do a 2K warm-up. Then we're going to do 4 repeats of 800 meters with a 90-second rest in between. Then we're going to do 4 repeats of 400 meters with a 45-second rest in between. And then we're going to do 4 repeats with 200 meters with a 25-second rest in between. And after that, we're going to do a 2K cooldown. And what we're trying to get with those repeats and intervals is a 2-to-1 work to rest ratio, which means for every 2 minutes of work, we're going to do a 1-minute rest. This has to do with your lactate levels in your blood, which I'm going to explain in more depth later down in this video. So for this track workouts, I always use my Apple Watch, as I do for every workout. And the way I do it is that I have an app on my iPhone actually, which is called RunKit. And with RunKit, I always build those workouts. For today, for example, I named the workout today's date. So in this example, I have a 2K warm-up. So I just go here and create a 2K warm-up, enter the stats, distance, 2K. Then I go to the intervals. Then I start the first interval with 4 repeats. I put the repeats in here for 800 meters, then a 1 minute and 30 second rest. Then I input the next repeats with 400 meters and a 45-second rest. And then I input the next repeats with 200 meters with a 25-second rest. And then I add the 2K cooldown. And once I have done that, I can close it and I can schedule it here. Once I schedule it here, it would automatically be transferred to my Apple Watch into the workout app, and I can just start the workout and it will walk me through the whole workout. It will give me the option to choose a lane. I will always choose the first lane on the running track. And when I start it, I will not make too much rest, like wait for, 1 minute and 45 seconds instead of 1 minute and 30 seconds. So it really gives you a lot of control for your runs and for your workouts, which is really important because we really need to dial in on this 2-to-1 work to rest ratio, and this is great for that. Two slices of sourdough bread, some peanut butter, around 30 grams, 1 banana, 100 grams, 15 to 20 grams of maple syrup, and a tablespoon of honey. That's the way to go.
How many carbs?
It's around 100 carbs. It's around 20 grams of protein, and I think somewhere around 15 to 20 grams of fats. You don't want to have too many fats for workouts like this. What you really need is carbs. Your body needs around 40 to 60 grams of carbs per hour of working out in the anaerobic zone. Yeah.
That's a good installation. It's a very good
one. I'm dying. Second 400 meter, going into the third 400 meter now. Then another one, and then 4 times 200. I'm done. Okay, 10 seconds. Oh. All right, we are done. 51 minutes. Total distance of 10 kilometers. Average pace 5 minutes 6 seconds. 957 calories burned. Average HR, which I don't believe is true because the watch isn't tracking it right, 157. But yeah, Wednesday rent is paid. It's been a good day. As I said at the beginning, we want to look for a 2-to-1 work to rest ratio when doing these intervals. And this has to do with your blood lactate, which I'll cover next in this video.
How do you feel?
Sore. But I'm feeling good. 8:45 in the morning. The rent for the day is already paid, which is great. I usually don't wake up that early, but Ilya, you motivated me to get up at like 5 a.m. today, which I think is the right thing to do, especially for running and working out in the afternoon. And yeah, I just need to get used to waking up that early, but it's great.
What was the best PR?
About a month ago, I did 800 meters as well. I think it was almost the same workout as today. And the average time for 800 meters was around 3:05 to 3:10. And today I did the 800 meters. First 800 meter repeat I did at 2:46. Second 800 meter 2:47. Third 800 meter 2:47. Fourth 800 meter 2:50. First 400 meter 1:21. Second 400 meter 1:20. Fourth 400 meter 1:19. This was with the Insta 360. And the fourth 400 meter was 1:24. The first 200 meter was 43 seconds. Second 200 meter 44 seconds. Third 200 meter 41 seconds. And fourth 200 meter 44 seconds. So there's good consistency throughout all the intervals for all 4 repeats, which is very good. You want to watch out for that. And yeah, it's pretty much a 2-to-1 work to rest ratio, because I already did the same workout about a week ago, and I calculated it. It's 191 to 1, so almost 2-to-1 work to rest ratio.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Sounds like a good result.
Yeah. Alright, so now I'll explain why lactate threshold training or tempo runs are so important. But before that, I want to quickly talk about the fundamentals of lactate threshold training, which is our fueling. So once we eat carbs, our body breaks those carbs down into glucose. This glucose then enters our bloodstream. Once that happens, our pancreas releases insulin, and this insulin helps to move this glucose into our liver and into our muscles, where it gets stored as glycogen. So basically we're topping off our energy stores, making our body ready to perform. But now the real question is, what actually happens with our body once we start pushing and things start to get hard? So when we now go into a high effort workout or race and our heart rate increases, at some point our body can't get enough energy from the oxygen you breathe in. So your body switches to a different energy system and starts breaking those glycogen stores down, and he does that pretty fast. This process is called anaerobic glycolysis. This process is super quick and extremely powerful, which is exactly what we need in those intense moments. But it's coming with a trade-off. It's producing a byproduct called lactate. Now lactate itself isn't actually too bad for us. Your body can actually use it as an energy source temporarily as well. But along with lactate, you also get hydrogen ions building up, and those make your muscles more acidic. This is this burning sensation, this fatigue feeling, which slows you down. Now the way it works is lactate in your blood is influenced by 2 things. First, how much you're doing, so the volume, and how hard you're going, so the intensity. Now let's say you're doing intervals. At the first interval, your lactate will be at a certain level, but by the 8th iteration, by the 8th interval, we're talking about a whole different thing. Your lactate will be way, way higher. Now the structure for interval training looks something like you have a warm-up, then you have your first interval, and you start to raise your heart rate. And with raising your heart rate, the lactate levels in your blood will also increase. And this is where this 2-to-1 work to rest ratio comes in. Because when we do the first break now, your heart rate will drop and your body starts to clear some of this lactate out of your body, but not completely, because right when we start clearing this lactate out of your body, when our heart rate drops, we hit the next iteration, we ramp it back up again. And we do that over and over again. So basically we're training our body under fatigue to use and clear this lactate out of our body more efficiently. And this is how you build a sufficient engine, one that can handle more volume, more intensity, and more sustained effort. And when race day comes around, this is what lets you run faster and further without burning out too early into the race. Alright, so it's Saturday, just finished my 18-kilometer long run. So I'm done for the week. As you know, I always do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I do my easy runs. On Wednesday, I do my lactate threshold or tempo training. And on Saturdays, I always have my long runs. Today I had an 80-kilometer long run. I will talk more about long runs in the next episode of this multiple episode series, where I also dive deeper into strength training, more about nutrition, long runs, and so on and so forth. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you get some value through it. If you have any questions about how I prep for this marathon or running training in general or hybrid training in general, let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I'd highly appreciate you subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.